classic Rovian tactic is taking the thing on which your candidate is the weakest and having them campaign on that as if it's their strength.
He's the most ambitious political player I've ever known.
I would give Karl Rove as much credit for the junkyard dog approach to politics as anybody.
I think he's consumed with political power.
Karl plays to win with every vehicle that he can.
Win at any cost.
Nothing wrong with that.
Win at any cost.
There's not a sparrow that falls in the Republican Party right now that Karl doesn't know about, that Karl doesn't plan.
You may not see his fingerprints on everything. You see the mark of Rove again and again and again.
We elected the public official, not Karl Rove.
You oppose Karl and you're never with him again.
Karl Rove's involved in a campaign, you're going to be hurt. He'll come after you hammer and tong.
Take a wedge issue and use it to divide people. And that's a classic Karl Rove strategy.
He pulls the strings. Everything that comes out of the president's mouth.
There is no rule that he won't break to help elect his candidate.
George W. Bush would not be president without Karl Rove.
If you pull back the curtain, you'll find out that's who's calling the shots.
There was plenty of doubt, and yet Karl Rove says Bush Cheney did not lie about Iraq. What is Karl Rove doing?
Karl Rove is telling the truth. First of all, we know that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. He used it against the Kurds. He killed thousands of his own countrymen.
And that was 15 years before this.
At
the time.
He had it, and he was preventing people, David, wait a second. He was preventing inspectors from coming in and inspecting the sites that the UN demanded be inspected.
No, he wasn't. The inspectors were in. Wait a second, David. Don't let that go by. Do not let that go by. Brad, that is not true.
Brad,
no, Brad,
Brad,
it's not true.
You're talking about a different time period. At the time, the inspectors were going in before the war in 2003. They could not find any evidence of weapons of mass destruction. And the intelligence community made it very clear that there was significant doubt. Dick Cheney said there was no doubt.
They were not denied access.
There are undeniable facts that Karl Rove gets wrong in this book.
You never authorized anyone to disclose your status, did you?
Absolutely not.
And no one ever approached you and asked for permission to disclose any classified information about you?
No.
Karl Rove never approached you and asked whether he had your permission to disclose your status, did he?
No.
It's called Fair Game, and that title is not something you just pulled out of the sky. That's the words Karl Rove, who was the president's top political operative, used. Those were his words when he said, you know, going after you.
Two weeks after my article appeared, a week after Bob Novak betrayed Valerie's identity, Karl Rove called Chris Matthews and said, as Chris Matthews relayed to me, Wilson's wife is fair game. So it was a hit job.
Inform the press. I did not give Valerie Plame's name to Robert Novak. I didn't.
That's true. He was a confirming source on the Valerie Plame story. That he revealed himself as having he quoted himself as what he told me. So the confidentiality was gone by his own statement.
I think he was dissembling, to put it charitably. Look, Karl Rove told me about Valerie Plame's identity on July 11th, 2003. I called him because Ambassador Wilson was in the news that week. I didn't know Ambassador Wilson even had a wife until I talked to Karl Rove, and he said that she worked at the agency and she worked on WMD. I mean, to imply that he didn't know about it, or that this was all believed by someone else, or that he heard it as some rumor out in the hallway is nonsense.
But he makes no apologies to Valerie Plame.
Karl Rove never apologizes. That's not what he does.